Kasi nga, we don't want our integrity to be questioned, our biases, so we always have to maintain that standard. So they are ours for 3 months. Yes.
Thank you po, Ms. Valerie. Okay, last question from the bloggers. Do you have any questions? Yeah, sure.
Hi, Pleasure was from Manila. Tanong ko lang, actually, first, I was kind of interested, how was this pitch to YouTube? Kasi there's also a possibility that you could have an online newscast and have it on Facebook exclusively, but why YouTube? And how was this pitch, since this is also an education fund recipient?
Yeah, I don't think we're the best person to ask for those details. I would refer you to Brian or Ma'am Patty.
How was this pitch po? YouTube.
Paano Philippines YouTube?
Okay. There's an international competition for the YouTube Innovation Fund. So all of the partners of YouTube, everybody who produces news content was encouraged to submit. We're so excited by this concept. I felt, man, this is the chance to create the prototype of the GMA newsroom of the future. It's something that we've been thinking about. And what if we had a group of mobile journalists shooting everything on their cell phones and having a newscast with a different point of view, but we weren't able to fund it ourselves. So we submitted this pitch to YouTube just thinking, maybe we'll luck out. And we were so shocked when we got it. And we got the full funding amount. I'm not allowed to say how much, but it's enough to fund, this entire production. And we're so proud that we got it. So,
Thank you, Ms. Nancy. By the way, Ms. Nancy is our first Vice President for Public Affairs. Last question from, sige, last two.
Questions naman para sa correspondence. So, for this, since you're a mobile journalist, compared to other journalists na may crew, so, kayo lang talaga mag-isa going to the field, and pati rin ba sa pag-edit, sa lahat ba kayo mag-handle, or kahit pa paano may support system din pa kayo?
sure, easy.
Hi, actually, sa field, yung process niya, di ba yung research kami rin. Tapos, pero meron kaming segment producer to guide us in developing the story, but more or less, kami lahat. Sa field, sinasamahan kami ng producers, pero kung wala sila, we have to do it on our own. Tapos sa editing naman, we have our editors, pero kailangan upuan din namin yung editing para ma-supervise kung yung concept na gusto namin is na a-apply doon sa visuals na ginagawa doon sa editing process.
Last one from John.
Well, my question is probably just because of the title alone. It's Stand for Truth. Where did that all come from? And will this touch on, of course, for the duration of your program online, it's going to be 5 weeks. Is that right? 15 weeks. You're gonna touch on election day, most probably. Will you be involved in any kind of reportage when that comes into picture? Why Stand for Truth?
I think why Stand for Truth. I think this isn't an official explanation of how we came up with the title, but I guess I can just share why it resonates with me. I think it encapsulates what we want to do with the newscast, which is to try and push the boundaries in terms of how we consume information, that we're not stuck with just the bare details of what happened, but also we go that extra step, which, to be honest, should be automatic already, but nowadays it's not so automatic, meaning we don't really digest it, we don't really use our critical thinking to understand what that story means to us and for the larger public. So that's why it's Stand for Truth. Like, it's not just your typical newscast. I don't mean to kind of say that other newscasts are typical, but what I'm just trying to say is because of the analysis that we provide, because of the way we will structure the reports, hopefully, I'm not making any promises, obviously, but the point is that we produce something that millennials will find useful in navigating their world. Now, the second part is, what's the second question?
About the
Elections.
Yes.
I think it's unavoidable. If we want to become a newscast and you want to become sort of a daily digest, there's no way of escaping elections. So we will be tackling the elections. We will be making election stories. I'm part of the GMA News and Public Affairs team as a whole. So for sure there will be some assignments. But Stand for Truth as a program, I feel will definitely make these election stories because, I mean, why not? And yun naman yung pinag-uusapan eh. And everybody should be informed about the run-up to the elections and the actual result of the election. So for sure that will be part of what we will tackle.
Yeah. Well, in my capacity, of course, as a resident analyst, I'll be covering the election live, right? So just like previous elections, 2016 elections. But let me just make this very clear. I think the democratic well of discourse is getting increasingly poisoned, not only in the Philippines, but around the world. And that's why someone has to hold the line, right? And the thing is this, I think there's a big misunderstanding of what objectivity and neutrality means in the world of public affairs, or even punditry, right? So if person A says that it's raining outside, and the person B says that it's not raining outside, it's not the job of the journalist to just say, person X said that and person Y said that. It's the job of the journalist to go outside there and look at the sky and says, oh, I'm sorry, actually it's raining, so person B doesn't make sense, right? So you have to make that stand by empirical verification of truth claims by two competing parties. So in that sense, we are the umpires of truth. And that's what we want to do in this show, that actually truth is something that we have to stand for. It takes an effort. And if we don't stand for that, the whole fabric of our politics and our democratic discourse could be poisoned and crumble into the pieces. That's why this show is important. We hope that this will not just be a kind of a seasonal event. And how I wish this happened earlier during the election period. And one of my biggest frustrations right now is that we're in one of the most important elections in generations, depending on the outcome of these elections. And ceteris paribus, the president will have supermajority, so you can completely change the constitution. That will have impact on the Philippines for generations to come. And yet, the COMELEC has not been able to organize a single debate between the two opposing parties. There has been no chance for the people to get to see basic facts and truth claims adjudicated by our future leaders or people who want to be our senators, for God's sake, right? And I think in that vacuum of adjudication of truth, it's important for us in the media, right, in the academy and thinkers to step in. And that's why this show is extremely important.
All right.
Thank you everyone. Maybe request the host to kindly invite our viewers, everyone to watch the show.
Yes. Please support us, this new endeavor of the News and Public Affairs of GMA. Stand for Truth will be premiering on April 15, that's a Monday, at 8 p.m. on GMA News Online and the YouTube channel of GMA Public Affairs. So that's going to be Monday to Friday for 15 minutes. So please spare 15 minutes of your time to join us, and hopefully we'll provide something interesting for everyone.
Just so the whole speech I gave a while ago, we need your help, right? We need to hold the line together, right? And there's no assurance this show will work. We'll do our best, but we cannot do this alone on our own, right? And at the end of the day, if we don't help each other in this, then you're going to leave the field to the not necessarily best people. I'll just put it there, all right? That's the pitch. Help. Stand with us. Stand for truth.
And more than anything, we just would like to thank you guys for coming here today. We know that you're very busy and there are a lot of things going on. So maraming salamat po for sparing us your time. And as both Atom and Richard said already, please do check out the show. We have put our hearts into this more than anything, and it's all with good intention. And we hope that through your social media platforms as well, you can support us standing for truth as you stand with us. So maraming salamat po ulit.
Again, thank you everyone.